Yeah, this is Zay.
Hey Zay, this is
Hey, how you
Tommy
doing?
Bryson. How are you?
Hey, hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just want to let you know, Zay, before we start this conversation, is that this conversation is live, so people are actually able to hear you. Okay.
All right.
All right. So how can I help?
Um, so I kind of just got my EIA number, and I'm planning on selling shirts and clothes, and like I was wondering like what's the best way to start getting a loan, with just like off my EIA number.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
What's your income?
Uh, like 800 a month.
Okay. Are you going to college? Skill?
Um, no, I'm not in college.
Okay. Here's the truth, right? The first question we always ask when we're impatient is, how can I borrow money to start my business that I've never started before? It's a very great way to start a fire and then catch on fire and then just ruin everything. If you're 21 years old and you make $800 a month, you have no business borrowing money, right, to start a business. What I would do is I would use my current income. You live with your mom or by yourself?
By myself.
Okay. So how do you make that $800?
I work at a wings like a restaurant.
Okay, restaurant. How often? Like how many hours a week?
Um, like what, 5, 10, 15. I would say like 20 hours a week.
So that's part time, right? You got a lot of
Yeah.
time on your hands. You need more jobs, right? So if I were you, I was 21 years old. Starting, for example, a t-shirt business. I would start, for example, promoting it, building a brand, selling with what I have. A very great way to get interest and also make sales and kind of like save money when you're first starting is you make limited supply, like one-time designs. Like, oh, we got 100 or 50 or 20. Once this comes out, never coming out again. That creates scarcity in the person's mind, but also saves you money. And potentially you can say, yo, here's the design. We're taking pre-orders, meaning you get paid first and then you can use that money to then go ahead and basically buy those t-shirts. Be careful trying to borrow money, right? Because if you borrow money and then things don't work out the way they work out, you still owe that money. The whole idea is people think that, well,
Right.
if I open up if I open up a business, an LLC, I got an EIN number, it's an official business, I borrow money. If it goes bad, I'm not liable for it. That's not true. Banks are not stupid. Usually, they have like a good guy guarantee within those loans, which basically means if the business can't pay, they will come after you, and that's also going to ruin your prospects for the future also. So what I would do is I would be patient. Start with what I have right now. Take pre-sales. A very good book on this, Zay, is called Will It Fly by Pat Flynn. He talks about how to
Willie Clark.
yeah, Will It
Uh,
Fly by Pat Flynn. And
all
it's a very
right.
and it's a very
Um,
and it's a very good book about basically how to test out a business without having to spend any money when you don't have any money. And by the way,
okay.
if you are 21 years old and I'm you, I'm looking into trade school, looking into college, looking into licenses, whatever I could possibly do, because $800 is a good amount of income to just basically sustain myself, but it's not that great. So I would
Yeah,
consider
it's
getting a
not great. It's not great.
yeah. So consider getting, for example, a trade job, going to college, or for example getting a license. That means, for example, I work at the restaurant, I have another job, all of my money goes towards, for example, paying for school or paying for my trade school or whatever it is, in order so when I graduate fully debt free. Meaning 3 years from now, 4 years from now, when you're 25 years old or 24 years old, you're making, for example, $40,000, $60,000 a year, and then that's actually a better prospect, right? And you're still pretty young. If by that point your clothing business, basically like your side hustle, takes off, great. You can build off from that. If it becomes like a massive thing, then great. You can say, yo, all right, I'm not gonna do this job, whatever, whatever. But it's important you work towards having a skill to earn the income. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I get what you're coming from with
So what are you interested in doing?
it. Like business management. If I do go to college and choose, I'm going for business management.
Okay, why?
Um, I've been in like leader roles all my life. Been in that like manager spots pretty much often. Always selling clothes, always being like ahead of my age. So like business management fit me pretty much,
Okay, so here's a question,
and that's
right?
like what I want to do.
What
Yeah,
percentage of people that graduate with a degree actually get a job?
like it's like what, like 40%.
You don't know. What's the average
Don't
salary
know.
for that job?
I decided for what job?
Once you graduate for that degree, what's the average salary?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the real
Okay.
salary for it.
What's the growth in that job, in that industry?
It should be pretty. I mean,
You don't know.
management, like
My
okay,
point
yeah.
my
I
point
don't
is
know.
this, right? My point is this. Don't take choosing a degree lightly. Don't think that, yo, I'm young for my age, I like business, I want to manage something, so great. Use for example, just use business instinct, right? If you have a
Mhm.
business and I come to you say, yo, I want to manage your business, and I'm like, what experience do you have? I have zero experience and I just graduated college. Am I gonna let you manage my business? Probably not.
No,
That
no.
degree is usually, most commonly, a trash degree. So what I would recommend is, for example, right, I would use the rule of 10. Basically means you write down your top 10 careers that you're basically most fond of. So whether it's business management, accountant, finance, doctor, nurse, coder, whatever it is, write them all down, the top 10.
One.
And then it's called the rule of 10. And then what you do next is you do a mini research paper on each of those careers. So, how long will that degree take me or that trade take me? What is the job prospect there? Can I actually get a job? Is there growth there? What's the average salary? Does that make sense?
Makes
So,
sense.
you want to find out all the details possible and make sure whatever you do pick, you like it. First of all, you're good at it, and it's also gonna make you a good amount of money. Anything above $40,000 is gonna be pretty good. But the idea is, while you're going after the degree, you want to go ahead and basically have jobs to help you pay for school. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But don't take this lightly, man. You ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
you
have.
watched the whole thing?
Like season 4, like the season before the last season.
Okay. My point is, you're at season 4. That's like 20 episodes deep. That's like 20 hours deep, right? Into something that benefits you whatsoever, does not benefit you. Spend that same time picking a degree or a trade. And by the way, don't limit yourself just to degrees, right? There's a lot of great
Right.
trades out there that can make you $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year. So look into all of them and dedicate that same time that you would, for example, into a TV show or into a job that you hate or into whatever you want to do. Dedicate it to that, and pick the one that makes the most sense for you. So once you have that top 10, you have like a mini paper for all of them, you start crossing off the ones you're not interested in. And also consider going on YouTube and seeing like, yo, okay, so let me hear about this accountant and his experience being an accountant, right? So look into all those things too. But once you land on the top 3, you pick the one, in my opinion, the one that you like the most and has, for example, a decent amount of income. Because most likely your top 10, they're all going to make you money. But you got to make sure the one that you do pick to actually go into, you actually
It
like,
fit me.
and you're actually, exactly, and you're actually good at. But not just fit you, because remember, this is not like a t-shirt, so it's not gonna fit you perfectly. It's just the way it is. It's just business, it's just a job, it's a career, right? It's obvious. So just make sure there's aspects of that job that you actually like and you enjoy. You won't like everything. At the end of the day, it is a business decision. If I'm gonna spend, for example, $20,000 of my own money plus financial aid plus tap plus, for example, scholarship money on this whole degree, I want to make sure that I get a good return on my investment and I'm actually able to basically get a job. When you're in college, you're working, you have, for example, internships that are relevant to that job or that degree, so that when you graduate and I ask you, yo, what experience do you have? Well, I've been working for the past 4 years in this industry because I've had internships, whether they were free, part-time, whatever it was, but that's going to give you very valuable experience. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I get where you're coming from.
That's what I would do, brother. Any more questions?
Um. So I mean, all right. If you have items to sell, right, but you have no social media or anything for it, like, do you know any way of selling them, like shirts or bags or shoes or anything like that?
If I have items to sell, are they personal use items?
No, like, no.
So are there new items that you want to sell?
Yeah, yeah. There are new items still like in the bag,
Okay,
but I
but
have no like
are they
no
brand? Are
website,
they, is it like your brand?
no like other brand like Nike,
Yeah, so go on
Adidas.
Facebook, Craigslist, hit up your friends, eBay, social
Mm.
media. If you don't got social media, make social media. Unless you're like stealing
No,
them and it's like illegal, then you're worried about it. But
no,
if
no.
you're not doing, yeah, so if you're not doing those things, then just whatever it is that you don't have, go out there and get it, right? Make the social media, become that reseller, become that face people go to, get that Facebook, just build it up. You don't need like your own website because websites are overrated. Websites only work through SEO optimization, meaning search engine optimization, meaning you only drive traffic by people searching up the topics you're talking about in that website. If you make a website about t-shirts trying to sell, you have no traffic, no way to sell them. So that's why when you go to eBay or Facebook, the customers are already there, they're already searching, and that's why it's so much easier to sell over there. So making your own website when nobody knows about you makes no sense. But if you have, for example, your own Instagram, you have your website, you start making content and all that stuff, people search you up, people find you, people are interested. You start building, for example, your own customer base at the same time. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Any more questions?
No, that would be it.
All right, brother. So, Zay, thank you for joining me live. Welcome to the long-term team. If you want to call back, always feel free to do so. But just get started, and I recommend get a skill, man. Get a skill. Okay.
All right. Thank you, and thank you, Tommy, very much.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace out.
All right.
All right, guys. So that right there was Zay. And Porsche, thank you for answering my question. Always, always, always. If I can't answer, I will answer. One big thing is you see this a lot where people they don't want to do something, right? And it's kind of like I rather work at this restaurant, watch Game of Thrones, than go to college, get a trade, get a license. Stupid. I don't want to, for example, I want to start this business. I have no experience, never sold a T-shirt, but I want a loan. Stupid. And by the way, when I say stupid, it's not in an offensive way. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling that stupid. Things that I do are stupid doesn't mean I'm stupid. It means just that one thing that I did was stupid, right? And I'm just honest about it. So if you want to start a business, start small. Imagine getting a loan at 21 years old, and they might do this, because banks are stupid too. So you have, for example, a 21-year-old guy walks into the store. I have a business. I want a loan. I'm 21. Oh, give that guy $10,000. Gets $10,000, buys 10K worth of inventory, has no way to sell it, no experience, now is in debt for $10,000, and only makes $800 a month. How crazy is that? And they'll do this stuff. They'll lend you the money. They're glad to lend you the money because all they want to do is drive you into a hole. I'm not into that. Okay, so consider getting a skill. Trade school is amazing. College is amazing. I hate college the way people actually do college. What does that mean? It means if you want to go to college, don't pick the private school. Don't pick the fancy school. Pick the school that's going to give you the most money. Usually, you go to trade school first. So you get those, not to trade school. You go to community college first. So you get, for example, those general education courses first out of the way for a very cheap price. You also raise your GPA at the same time, so qualify more for scholarships. You also get a job while you're there in those first 2 years or first 1 year to get like those general courses. That means, for example, those first 2 years, you're able to save a ton of money. Somewhere like around $20,000 or like 15K or like 10K. You have that money saved up. When you start applying for scholarships, you start, for example, at the community level, church, business, state level, then nationwide. At least 100 to 200 scholarships. If people did this and picked the right degrees, we wouldn't have this massive problem of student loan debt because people would just not be getting into crazy debt. There's all this idea of like, yo, I want this right now. Give me the money. I'll borrow it. Things will be fine. And when things aren't fine, you're just stuck with the mess, right? And that's not what you want.